heavenly, no. Uncross.
Excuse me?
Your arms, your legs, uncross everything.
I'm sorry. I've only done this like once before in the Bronx. I went to this fortune teller who could look into your Turkish coffee and...
Lay your hands on the table, palms up, and say your name.
My what?
Your name. Is there a problem?
Oh, no, of course not. Why would there be a problem? My name is, Gwen Fitzgerald.
Gwen Fitzgerald is nervous. She's wondering why Heavenly Vibrations has asked her to sit this way. She thinks Heavenly is going to leave her palm.
Hey, that is what I was thinking.
Heavenly Vibrations does not do palms. She does not do cards. She does not do crystal balls or tea leaves or coffee grounds. This is not the Bronx.
Whatever technique delivers the goods, that's all I really need.
Shh. I'm listening to vibrations. How long have you been married?
Aren't you supposed to know stuff like that?
I knew that you were married.
Well, yes, you saw my wedding band.
Remove it. I want to hear what it has to say.
I don't think my wedding band knows how to talk.
On the contrary, true. It's like a magnet that attracts vibrations, good and bad. They end up like old stories in our rings, our earrings, and our bracelets. The vibrations in your wedding ring can reveal much about your marriage and your life.
I'm sorry, but I don't take this ring off for anyone. Not even if the Pope...
Your earrings, then. I need to hold some jewelry.
Are you married?
I beg your pardon?
Well, if you're going to advise me about marriage, I was just wondering what your personal frame of reference might be.
Well, my personal frame of reference is the universe. The stars are like walls of a great canyon that bounce back the energy we give off. I listen to these echoes and what they have to say. I see what I hear, and I tell what I see.
So you're not married then?
No.
Any wedding bells in your future?
It's much too early to say.
Well, I thought you were a star.
That doesn't mean I wish to see all that lies ahead.
Oh, so when it comes to futures, you'd rather not know your own.
Look, you gonna give me the earrings or not? Now, please try to open yourself up to the stars. Hands on the table, palms up. Much better. Yes, I see a woman. An anxious, married one. She's in a store, shopping. She's reaching for something in front of her. It's red. It's a sweater. It's a red sweater.
You mean this one?
Wait. She's having trouble making up her mind.
Excuse me, but...
Shh. She's trying to decide whether or not to buy it. Will this sweater really make her happy?
I already know that I bought the sweater.
Look, I can't do this if you're going to interfere with the process.
Sorry, I only thought you were going to tell me about things I wasn't, like, already aware of.
What you think you are aware of, you do not know. What you think you are feeling, you have not yet experienced. And by the way, I must advise you that red is not your color.
You mean psychically?
No, I mean cosmetically.
May I have my earrings? Thank you. Now I would like a refund of my $10.
And people like you always wonder why they're so boring. Look, lady, this is not Walmart. There are no refunds or exchanges. And just for your information, a reading like this with heavenly vibrations usually costs $50.
The sign outside said 10.
Well, that is an introductory offer. What you got just now was an introductory reading.
What I got just now was a 2-bit fashion review.
Okay, you want some good advice? I'll give you some good advice. Leave the premises immediately. Go somewhere else. Anywhere else. And get a life.
I have already got one. Thank you. Oh, interview. At least mine has some interview. At least mine has some integrity. Interview with a vampire.
You said something unusual just now. You said interview with a vampire.
I did?
Yeah, that's an odd thing to blurt out.
Well, it's just a book. Martha's Vineyard. Oh, I've never felt so strange.
Now you just said Martha's Vineyard. This is not a normal conversation.
Oh, I'm not sure if it's a good weird or a bad weird. I just know it's definitely a weird.
Now, why on earth would you say Martha's Vineyard?
Oh, it just sort of popped into my head like a movie. Have you ever been to Martha's Vineyard before?
This weekend, I was there with my boyfriend.
Seriously.
Yes, and he was reading Interview with a Vampire.
I guess it's just one of those strange coincidences that you hear about.
Down the road from where we stayed, there was a cemetery in the woods with tombstones so old the names had worn off of them. And we sat on a bench there, just the two of us, surrounded by all that history and atmosphere. And he started reading the book to me. But how did you know that?
Well, I didn't. It just sort of popped in. Marvin, Melvin, Matt. It just all of a sudden popped. Mark, Manny, Murray, Maud, Michael.
Mickey!
Huh?
You were searching for names that begin with M. My boyfriend's name is Mickey.
I'm sorry. I really gotta get home. I'm really not feeling well.
No! Wait, tell me more about this movie you see, please. Go ahead, talk to me.
Would you like a reading?
Yes, I guess I do.
That'll be $10, please.
You might have mentioned that you were psychic.
You might have mentioned that you weren't.
Let's just do the reading. Oh, here, hold my necklace. What is it? What does it tell you?
Whoa, that the psychic market must be awfully lucrative these days.
It was a gift from me. I had mentioned once how much I love diamonds and what? What's wrong?
The necklace, it's got bad news written all over it.
Bad news? What kind of bad news?
Oh, I don't know. Do you really trust a grown man who still calls himself Mickey?
Why shouldn't I trust him?
Because he is not what you think. You think you're sleeping with Mickey Mouse. Well, roll over, honey, and look at who's on the next pillow. That's Mickey Rat.
But he seems so sweet.
They all do when they're trying to get some cheese. How did you meet him?
He walked in one day for a psychic reading.
Well, you tell him to just keep right on walking. He came out of nowhere, like a cockroach on your kitchen counter. He could be anyone. A liar, a thief, maniac, serial killer. Think about it, honey. This is a guy who sits in graveyards and reads vampire books.
Mickey's not a serial killer. He's an insurance agent. And he wouldn't hurt a fly if he could catch one, I mean. He's kind of overweight. He's got bad knees. But he is very sweet.
Do you love him?
I think so.
Yeah. You think so?
Well, it's hard to be sure.
That doesn't sound like bells and whistles to me.
It's hard to be sure about somebody that you only see on Thursdays.
I thought you spent the weekend together.
Oh, that was a first. We usually just do Thursdays when his wife goes to bed.
Whoa! Wake goes to Connecticut.
That might have been the bad news you picked up on. Mickey is, technically speaking,
And
married.
technically speaking, what does that make you?
Me? I hadn't really thought of it.
Well, maybe you better start. Think about it, honey. You are dating a married man. You're a bad joke, a soap opera cliche.
It does sometimes feel that way, but it's only been 6 months.
6 months! That's an awful lot of Thursdays. Well, does he have any kids?
Yes, but they're not kids anymore. They're grown-ups with families of their own, so it's not like they depend on him, like they used to.
So, let me get this straight. He's got a wife, children, grandchildren, in-laws, and other relatives who don't seem to need him anymore on Thursdays.
Look, it's no fun being the other woman, and it's not my intention to hurt anybody.
Well, then you need to start thinking about the consequences of your actions. This is where this whole so-called modern society falls down and busts its chops. People don't realize anymore that there's a whole world out and beyond the end of their nose rings.
Well, it'll all be different once Mickey gets his divorce.
And when exactly is that?
As soon as things settle down at the office, which depends on the U.S. economy and whether or not Reagan gets reelected. The insurance industry is very volatile right now.
Not only are you not psychic, you're barely conscious. That divorce thing, hanging on the end of a stick, that is the oldest uneaten carrot in the history of adultery.
Mickey wouldn't lie to me.
If he can lie to his wife and family, he can lie to you. Now, what's your name?
Heavenly Vibe.
No, your real name, the one your mother gave you. What is it?
Barbie Kirk.
All right, Bobby Kirk, let me give it to you straight. You are never going to be married with this guy because he is always going to be married to this woman, no matter what the U.S. economy is doing. Oh, and just so you know, birthdays, anniversaries, and Christmases don't always fall on a Thursday. Spend a few of those special days alone and you'll know what I mean. This man is a fool, but he still loves his wife. She's a fool, but she still loves him. And even if they weren't fools, they still got all of these kids and grandkids to think about. So listen up, because you're never going to hear advice worth more than this. Ready? Leave the premises immediately. You're going to call this Mickey and you're going to tell him goodbye. While you still got some of your looks and some of your dignity left. In other words, again, leave the premises. Go somewhere else. Anywhere else. Get a life.
I'm afraid I have to ask for my $10 back.
What? You just got one of the best psychic readings you'll ever get in your life.
It wasn't the reading, and you're not psychic.